Hello, here's my tutorial on how to draw foxes using references. Please enjoy. Here are a few foxes I drew beforehand. Notice that the snout is thin and angular, with the head also being pretty round, I'd say. The ears are also large, and they rest slightly on the sides of the head. And the base is the largest and roundest part of the ear. Their jawlines are generally less defined, depending on how fluffy the fox is. Most foxes are really fluffy, especially around their neck, as you see here. Here I'm highlighting the snout shape. There's also a noticeable space between the snout and the ears on the forehead. The angle of the eyes match the snout angle, and the eyes are placed below where the head and snout meet. So here I'm showing the first drawing. This can be broken into 3 parts. 1, the top of the head. 2, the snout. 3, the ears. And 4, the direction of the fur. This drawing can be broken into 3 parts. Number 1, the inside of the ears. Number 2, the nose and or the lip curve. 3, the jaw and chin curvature. This one can be separated into 2 parts. The nose shape, 1, and 2, the eye placement. This can be broken into 3 parts. Number 1, the neck. Number 2, the eye detail. And number 3, the leg placement. For the leg placement, I just put some rough scribbles here as an indicator for future references or drawings that I'll be making. This step can be broken into 2 parts. Number 1, I sharpen the nose, made a little point here. Number 2, the underbelly or the upper leg. I'll explain how I drew the elbow here. So, I drew a line where the elbow lines up, straight across. The elbow has a sort of inward swoop, like after the elbow, the lower part of the arm, and the upper arm comes in at an angle, which is parallel to the underbelly. We can break this down into 3 steps. Number 1, I rounded the elbow. 2, I changed the underbelly. And 3, I made some adjustments to where the armpit and the underbelly met. For this one, I start the other leg by using 2 points here. I then created 2 stems for the width of the leg. The joint curves abruptly here, and the rest of the lower leg tapers slightly. I also made a mark indicating the placement of the rest of the paw for future reference. I made a circle where the paw is going to be. Then I connected the paw to the ankle. I don't know what happened here. I'm sorry. There we go. I made a curve for the back, which reaches the highest point towards the end. I made a line marking the beginning of the tail. And I finished the arc for the underbelly. I also put a different arc there to indicate where the leg would be. I made the elbow less knobby. And here I made the arc into a straight line for better accuracy so it looks more like the picture. I also made the curve of the flank. Wow, what a beautiful transition. Anyways, I put a line so that I would understand the placement of the leg. I also put these lines here to end the top portion of the leg. First step, another line for positioning, and an inward curve, and another curve that follows that one. The joints are also angular, so I use a few straight lines. 2 lines side by side that taper toward the end, and just a little semicircle looking thing. The beginning of the other leg lines up with the first, and the same thing with the parallel-ish lines. For this joint, I used more of an angle than I did for the other one, and more tapering lines. I started with a tremendously straight line for the back of the front legs, and of course another parallel line. I drew a sort of bean-shaped looking thing on the end of the ankle for the paw. I also drew parallel lines when having a bump in the middle for the front foot. This one has this sort of weird curved line that dips in the middle and rounds out at the end. It also has a smoother curved line that connects to it. This last step, I just did a controlled scribble to make the hair longer and shaggier. Here's where I use my other strategies to draw more foxes.